The far-left influencer Hasan Piker claims that Mao is one of the greatest leaders in the history of the world. First of all, let me apologize for the character assassination that I'm going to do. Hasan Piker is a rich kid. He came from Turkey, moved to the United States. He belongs to a rich family. He didn't have to struggle for anything, for his education, for money. He didn't have to do the regular jobs. Whatever he needed, it was there for him without putting any kind of the effort. And it appears that he has been overeating. And people like him, they get executed under communists and these socialist regimes. Anyway, regarding Mao, Mao was responsible for the deaths of around 45 to 80 million people. The famine, the executions. People didn't have the food to eat, and most of them were the working class people, poor people. They used to work almost every day, 12 hours, mandatory. And after all that, they didn't have the money to buy food. They didn't have food to put on their table. They had to live in the shared apartments. The life was brutal. The diseases, the filthy apartments. After working that hard, when people wouldn't get that, they will go against the regimes, and that is where the regimes, starts executing those people. Millions of people died during the Great Famine of China because Mao just wanted to spend all that money on the military. So, if you want to support the deaths of the millions of people, if you support the tyranny, oppression, and the one-party rule, no elections, then yeah, Mao should be ideal for you. But if you talk about democracy, then Mao is completely opposite of what the greatness is. The problem with these rich kids is that they don't face a lot of the struggles in their life. They don't have the real problems, so they created the fake problems to create the meaning in the life. Without the problem, we don't have any meaning. So they create these fake problems. Hasan Piker, he dresses as Mao Zedong. It's like when we used to be kids back in the time, we used to dress as Superman, and we felt like we are now Superman. Whereas a Spider-Man, that today we're Spider-Man. That's how Hasan Piker dresses as Mao Zedong. So that he can, create some sort of the value in his life. That, hey, I am valuable because I'm trying to stand up against the rich people when he's the one who is rich. And these kind of the people are the first ones who get executed and persecuted by the regimes. If you see the communist protests, the socialist protests, most of these kids are privileged class. It's rich class people. It's because they don't have, you're not going to find the factory workers or the working class people protesting out there. It's these college kids who belong to the rich families. In the middle of the day, they'll be protesting on Monday, on Tuesday, Wednesday in the morning because they don't have no jobs. They don't have, any employment. And most of them, they are the environmental study students, the liberal study students. They have nothing to do but do these kind of the shenanigans. They don't understand what the communism is. What are the principles of the communism? And all of them, they are the owners of the private properties, but then they advocate for communism that literally advocates for the abolition of right to have the private property. And all these so-called socialist and communist protesters, the most of them are in the Ivy League colleges. They all be having the iPhones, the MacBooks. They be drinking matcha latte out of their Starbucks cups. And then they be talking about socialists. They be talking about how they're communists. Most of these people, they have no idea what the communism is. There are, I guess, there are 3 or 4 categories of the people who are into the communist or socialist ideology. The first categories are the people who simply have no idea, like what the hell is going on. It's just like their buddies communists. I'm a communist too, because that's trend. The second category are the people who cannot simply compete in the capitalist world. And the third category of the people are the ones of the intellectual class. They had been studying Marxism, communism their entire life, and now they want to do something to it. They want to put the value in it. So there are suddenly Marxist professors, and they romanticize that idea because they believe when the communism will be there, or socialism will be there, or they will be the ones in charge of those societies. That's far from reality. So Hasan Piker, or all of his socialist or communist friends, they will never go to China and live. They will never go to any communist country and live. I remember like last time they visited Cuba with Cold Pink, and they stayed in one of the most luxurious hotels in Cuba. Well, the entire Cuba didn't have the lights in their house. They were enjoying their stays at the luxury hotel with the generators. If China was that good a country, if those communist countries were that good countries, the people wouldn't come to the United States. And all these people, they will do anything from these communist countries to move to the United States, and they don't want to go back. If communism was that good, that wouldn't have been the truth. And a lot of people say that China is a very good country. Economically, yeah, it's prosperous. In some cases, militarily, it's doing good. But what is the cost? Cost is the elimination of democracy. The cost is elimination of freedom. I'm not saying that the capitalism is a perfect system, but it is better than socialism and communism. The countries like United States or the European countries, all these capitalist countries, they're not 100% free. They don't have democracy like the way the democracy should be. I don't actually think that a democracy can be accomplished, but there are still way better societies than China, than Russia, or any of the other communist countries. And people like Hasan Piker, they enjoy their $1 million fortune in the United States. They live their capitalist luxury life, and then they will advocate for the communism and socialism. So Hasan Piker, the day you will leave the United States and start living in China will be the day I will believe that you're truly a Maoist. The day you will leave your property and donate it to the working class poor people, I will believe that you are Maoist. Until then, you're just a performer, like a lot of the other podcasters and the influencers. And no, Mao was not one of the greatest leaders in the history. Mao was one of the most disastrous leaders in the history. The enemy of democracy, the enemy of working class people, the enemy of the poor people. And if somebody has Mao Zedong as their ideal, then that individual supports murder, tyranny, oppression, oppression of the working class people, poor people, and elimination of democracy.